In the previous video, we found which species of penguin has the longest median bill length, and we're about to do the same thing in Altair, but as a first step, I just want to introduce what gets showed to us if we make a bar chart without trying to find the median in Altair. So we call this chart constructor, and we pass it the pandas data frame that we want to use, this penguin's data frame. And then instead of using mark circle, which is what we use for scatter plots, we're going to call mark bar. And then this dot encode. Now we say what column in the data frame should correspond to the x-axis. And let's say the species column should correspond to the x-axis. And what should correspond to the heights of these bars? What's going to be the bill length? So it's not very obvious what this is showing us. Let me show an example. So let's call the sample method on the data frame get 3 random rows. And so here there's a Gen 2 penguin of bill length 47.4. And so what happens is Altair draws a bar here of height 47.4. Okay, and then here's another Gen 2 penguin of height 51.1. So right on top of the other one, pandas draws another bar of height 51.1. So it's not super obvious what the heights of these represent, but since like the biggest height, the bar of biggest height is going to be what we're seeing here. So the maximum value for the bill length for all of these Gen 2 penguins, for example, should be a little less than 6. So let's check that. So we can say, for example, df group by species. And then I got some error I wasn't expecting when I tried just calling max on this. And so there are a couple different ways we can fix this. One is to say numeric only equals true. And that's like saying, don't try to also find the maximum of, for example, the island column. Okay, and now this is more what I was expecting. So for example, this is saying that for the Gen 2 penguins, the maximum value of the bill length is 59.6. For the chin strap penguins, the maximum value is 58. And if we come up here and look, yeah, that looks like 59.6. That looks like 58. So it does seem like that makes sense. Another way to think about it is, let me make a scatter plot of this. And let me just choose a different column. Let's choose bill depth for the X encoding. And then so we can still tell the difference between the species of penguins, let's encode the color using the species column. And I wanted to do a scatter plot, so let's change this to, I mean, maybe I'll leave that there just so we can see it. But what I really wanted to do was scatter plot. So I want to change this to mark circle. And so, for example, which of these seems to have the biggest height? Well, it looks like the Gen 2 penguin is the one where the y coordinate is the biggest. Hey, this is probably that 59.8. And chin strap, this is probably the one that was 58. Hey, there, this one over here. We should also be able to see that in the bars. This should be the 59.6. This should be the 58. And if we want to really check those, I can add a tooltip to this. Make sure you put it in a list. And then I can say, show me exactly what the bill length is. Okay, now if I put my mouse over this bar, it says 59.6 is the bill length. And here it says 58. And that should be exactly what we were seeing here, 59.6 and 58. Okay, that was using this group by object. Okay, great. And so then in the next video, what I'm going to do is show how we can actually find the median value for, like, fix a species of penguin. What's the median value of the bill lengths for that species of penguin in this data set? That's what we'll do in the next video. Okay, thank you for watching.